I lose my mind. And I'm not sure if I can do this. I feel useless. Can't take the stress. I'm asking for a reason. Something I haven't seen yet. Life is no computer. That's just starting over. This doesn't feel like home. Lost in a world of my own. I wanna reset my heart. Looking for solace I can't find in the rising steam. Scrolling through the brain rot, trying to fall asleep. And I'm tearing apart the only part that is a part of the master plan. This jungle is so thick. I just got caught in quicksand. I'm asking for a reason. Something I haven't seen yet. Life is no computer. This is starting over.
Hello, chat. Are we good? Hello, Crashton. I am unable to tell if my audio is good or not. I think I haven't set to the right audio track. I'm definitely confident I have it set to the right audio track, so we can definitely get started on this. Thank you. So, oh, I don't like the song. Nope. All right. So today we are going to talk about Vegas Pro 23, which has just been released today, and I've been made well aware of this release for like 4 days now because ZZZ9125 has talked about it, so it's the people on Reddit have. Sorry, my words are jumbled right now. But today, I was surprised to see that Vegas Pro 23, it's not like every other update, where it doesn't just add like a whole bunch of AI features and garbage. They actually decided to improve on every little aspect of Vegas Pro, starting with the core engine. Actually, I'll start here. So, Core Engine 1.0, which means they're gonna make it work like DaVinci Resolve, and by that I mean like the core infrastructure will help make it more stable and more modern for future updates. Color grading workflow. I mean, if anyone uses color grading, they know what to expect. But this one, they changed it so it doesn't use like a whole bottom panel. They changed it so like it now uses a window. So like, thank God. Then we have modifications to trial version, unnecessary. And by unnecessary, I mean like I don't have to worry about that because I have it. Then this is the feature we all been waiting for: timeline-based event and track OFX keyframe animation, which means it allows you to automate keyframes for your event effects. Like, we waited 10 years for this effect, 10 years for this feature to come out. So to have a feature where it can allow us to automate stuff, like we can automate our effects finally, it's finally here. And I talked about this with another user back then a couple months ago, because DirectX plugins such as like raise and like those other effects that are like old looking, they only can support automation. But Magic finally added keyframe timeline based animations, which allows you to edit them in your timeline finally. These two are not important for right now. I'll talk about those maybe in a future video or future discussion. Docking regions finally gets an uplift, which allows you to change your UI in such a way where you can now have stuff docked on the sides. So we're finally able to dock our preview on the right side instead of being docked on the top or bottom. We can also dock our effects and other windows on the left side, which is actually shown here, for example. ZZ showed off that you can now dock these in the left and on the right side, which actually looks so fucking good. I'm at an utter shock at this. Like, wow. And then we finally get a modern equalizer, which looks so similar to FabFilter. I am not joking. This is Magic's version of FabFilter for Vegas Pro. It is actually so sleek. It is unreal. Wow, that song's loud. But I don't know what to say about that. That's amazing. What the hell? And here's the color grade panel I just talked about. It doesn't get locked to the bottom of the screen anymore. It now has a more sleek design. It's now movable, draggable as a window, which makes it so much easier to do color grading if you were like stuck, if you were hating to do it at the bottom all the time, unless you had like. So this allows you to do it on two screens now. Finally, the new rendering as window. I never liked that it looked so unorganized. It was shit. So we finally get a version. We get a new version of the render as window, which looks so good now. Oh my god. Oh, and now for scripting, now supports copy tracks. You know, I know Firefox's translator's not great, so I'm more than curious to see what this actually would translate to in DeepL. It's gonna translate to German apparently. Why? Script API supports track duplication. Well, relevant to regular users, Vegas Pro 23 finally adds track duplication support to the script API. This is achieved with via the duplicate track method in the project class, which returns a duplicate track object, a feature long overdue. So scripts can now duplicate tracks, which is something we probably fucking needed in our life. When Element Helper adds this, then you can only use it in Vegas Pro 23. No more, no less. And on top of everything else, I feel like ever since I just tried out Vegas Pro 23, and I tried out this morning, as I was getting up, and what the fuck? What am I trying to talk? What am I trying to say here? Vegas Pro 23, oh my god, it's got so many good changes. What the hell? I guess that means we should just jump right into like Vegas Pro 23. And now that means we can also pause this real quick. How do people listen to music and talk at the same time? I'm actually surprised people can do that. I might not be used to like playing Spotify on stream, so that's probably why I'm so uncomfortable talking while that's playing in the background. So we can switch over to Vegas Pro 23. And here it is. We're going to open up one of the projects that I have worked on for my friends at No Time to Talk, who I remastered their video for. And you can see the exact section that I have. I thought this project didn't save. Why does it have the save region on here? So Vegas Pro 23 doesn't look all that different from Vegas Pro 22, aside from a few UI differences. So what you could probably get at is, I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the exact section that I have. I thought this project didn't save. Why does it have the save region on here? So Vegas Pro 23 doesn't look all that different from Vegas Pro 22, aside from a few UI differences. So what you could probably get at is it just looks a little more closer to DaVinci Resolve. And I'm not going to say that they're trying to replicate that design, but I feel like this is getting close to being more as like a more modern version of Vegas Pro versus what used to look like back in, let's say, Vegas Pro 14. And I know a majority of the community uses Vegas Pro 14 to 16 because those are the most stable versions you could use. And to everyone's misconceptions, to not to like bash on the old versions of Vegas Pro, but come on, Vegas Pro 18 and 21 are actually really good versions. With the right optimizations, you can make Vegas Pro 18 and 21 work just exactly as like what 13 had without the crashes. And you still get all the modern features. But does this mean you have to? Is this worth paying upgrading for $150? Well, I'd say go and try the trial version first and import your preferences there. I'm not going to recommend anyone buying this unless they absolutely need to. Probably pro users who are probably professionals should upgrade if they need all the new features. But I will talk about the OFX being able to use effects in the timeline. So the raise effect is one of the examples I'll use, and I'll just enable one of the keyframes here to change the length. So we don't have to do that in the time. We don't have to do that in the window anymore. I know how much people hated doing that, and so have I. So let's do that using the timeline. And oh my god. Oh my god. I'm still live, right? I can tell. When I said that the Vegas Pro 23 is going to change the way how Vegas Pro works forever, I mean that. Because this is one of the... Oh my fucking god. I don't see the I don't see them actually. What? Magic. Why isn't that a thing on here? Oh, there we go. Oh, it's still glitchy just a tiny bit, but other than that, it works nice. Wow, holy shit. What the hell? That actually works so well. So, what else are we looking at in terms of the performance? Oh, I guess I should show like the fab filter looking plugin now. So, we have we have the modern equalizer, which is what I will call the much better version than this, and this. I know anyone in the community has used at least Express Effect Graphic Equalizer, Paragraphic Equalizer, or Graphic Equalizer. They're all shit. They all look like they were made from the early 2000s. Sorry if I'm clipping. I didn't realize my mic was that loud. It's all old. These look so old, dude. They use VST1 or something. Or no, they use DirectX. These are like DirectX plugins. They're so shit. Oh my god. So we don't need to use those anymore. We can now use a modern equalizer in Vegas Pro without like using FabFilter. I mean, if you still want FabFilter, go for it, because this pretty much replaces every graphic equalizer that's ever existed in Vegas Pro. And that's honestly pretty fucking funny. Because I think all the old equalizers were kind of shit, to be honest. They never worked too well, and you always had to do a whole bunch of work just to make them even work properly. Why would you use the old equalizers when you can use like FabFilter or stuff like that? And Magic probably thought the same way, so they just decided, hey, let's make our own FabFilter and just implement it into Vegas Pro. And lo and behold, they do exactly that. It is actually so peak. This is so gosh darn peak. Oh my god. We need to take this for a test run. So I'll play Reset by No Time to Talk, who is one of my good friends on Discord. And I've also and now an IRL friend. So, well, if Mike, you're here, I love you, buddy. You made such good music for your first album, and can't wait for the album to get released. However, what I will say, however, is that we're gonna use one of your songs, one of your remastered songs for the test here, and for preview half, the performance is staggeringly good. Oh, I love you can change the peaks, dude. You can change the peaks. You can change the peaks. Oh my god.
First thing I do when I wake up to the sun is I close my blinds.
Oh,
I
so
turn
good.
on the screen 8 hours straight and I lose my mind. And I'm not sure if I can do this. I feel useless. Can't take the stress. I'm asking for a reason, something I haven't seen yet. Life is no computer. That's just starting over.
That's peaking like hard. I didn't notice that. Yeah, okay. So there's a lot of bass in this song, I'm not gonna lie. But modern equalizer in the Vegas Pro 23. What a banger plugin. And it's not even a plugin, it's built into Vegas Pro. Well, at least it's a VST free. So if you can't run VST freeze, then I don't think you can run this. Also, side note, Vegas Pro 23 also works on Windows ARM devices. So if you have like one of those new architecture devices, you can now run Vegas Pro on your computer, given if you don't run like x86 and shit no more. Some people probably don't use x86, and I'm not sure why. I haven't figured out what the difference is between ARM and x86. What I do know, however, is that they're two different architectures that require two different builds of the same program because their code bases are all different. Or no, what is the difference really? I don't know. If someone can explain that, that'll be awesome. But I think next we can look at like what we're looking at is color grading. So I don't have a lot of choices for color grading anything in here. They're all this and this really. So is there a point to color grading this? Let's find out, I guess. I don't think it did anything. I think it just stuck itself. So this is the new color grading window. No longer like attached to the bottom. So thank fucking God. Oh wait, it's right there. So if you were a professional editor and you were always relied on your tasks and effects be on the other window, this will help you by a dramatic amount. Because it's not only, well, if Vegas Pro 22 and under had this feature, then I clearly didn't use it properly. But this also is much, much better. Wow. I'm not a professional color grading user, but I do know that color graders will definitely have a lot of fun using this. And I mean a lot of fun. They will have so much fun working with this. So windows are okay. The windows are not broken. That's good. And I think what also makes this work so well is because Vegas and Magic. Well, Magic had to do a lot of work behind the scenes to make this work. And in order for that work to be done properly, they need internal beta testing. ZZZ 9125 was one of them among the lucky users to be an internal beta tester for Magic, and he lives in China, mind you. I mean, that shouldn't mean anything, but China users don't exactly have full access to what we have in North America. And for you, Crash in Europe, apparently. But what we have now is due to the work of the internal beta testers. And it's also because of the beta testers that Magic was able to push a good update without a lot of problems. I was expecting Baseball 23 to become like, oh, this program crashes so much, like every other version that Magic ever releases when they first release it, because they never do any beta testing. Well, guess what? Magic listens. Magic has listened. They actually added beta testing to Vegas Pro, and they have enlisted a trusty amount of users. Trusty amount? No, a trusted and a fair amount of users to test their program internally. So I don't think they signed NDAs. I think they did. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this because maybe the internal beta testers have signed NDAs. But ZZZ was one of the people who were given official permission to write an article about Vegas Pro 23 to the Automat and Billy community. But he's among one of the amazing users who's also created scripts like the pixel scaling script and what else do we have here? The Photoshop file layer splitter and the sprite sheet tool. He created those scripts for people like who want to do pixel art, and I also do pixel art and sprite sheet stuff myself. And for you, Christian, I know you've been playing A-Sprite, so you might also have a lot of fun trying this if you had the sprite sheet tool. I don't know if you're still in chat, but I can't tell. YouTube doesn't work properly. Maybe. No, YouTube definitely hasn't shown anything. Maybe no one's watching, but I don't know. I want to talk about this. The next thing I think we're going to talk about is... No, we already talked about this. I can't try these out because I don't have footage from a camera at the moment. Oh, but we're going to try out the new docking regions. This is what we've been waiting for, fellas. Are you ready? Waboosh! Dock on the right side. Let's fucking go. I don't see practical use in my workflow for this. What I do think, though, is that people who work on... Are you kidding me? It ate it. Chat, it ate the window. Oh no. It ate the window. Why? Why did it eat the window? No. It ate the window. Why, dude? Oh, there we go. So we can now have it on the left side as well. If you had tools that you didn't like before that were docked in like the most upper corners or on the bottoms, why not just put them on the side? It works. It just works. Put in Todd Howard's, it just works. Video effect package management. Now, this is one of the things I don't fully understand. Video effects packages have been redesigned to provide more flexibility to users so they can store change of video effects so they can be used over and over again on multiple tracks, events, and even between projects. Okay. Oh, that's what they mean. Save plugin chain as filter package. Oh, I understand now. I understand. If you had multiple effects and you want to put them onto a different project or a different event, you don't need to like copy, select in this anymore. You don't even, oh my God. Oh my God. Holy shit. Holy shit. No fucking way, dude. No fucking way. That actually is a real feature. Oh my God. That will be so useful. That will be so fucking useful. Redesigned render dialog box. Now, I just talked about this on ZZC's article, but this is what the render window now looks like in English. Use cases, video, which, wow, it doesn't look all that different if you ask me, but that's because, oh, right. So a lot of those old video formats like AVI and and the other formats that existed before. Yeah, they don't work on this version anymore because they have to redesign this from the ground up. So we have the usual Apple ProRes, which allows you to get transparent videos. AV1, the most efficient video codec for the modern internet. I mean, YouTube is moving to AV1 for their playback because it helps reduce the file size by a tremendous amount. But you need a modern graphics card to use it. Otherwise, you'll just use VP9. You have AVC, the usual codec that people use because this is like the standard that we have nowadays. And this is the more modern standard high efficiency video codec, which you probably already know, which allows you to, and I quote, just have more efficient videos. But they can't be played in Discord. You can play AV1 videos in Discord, but you can't play AEVC. No, HEVC. Why? Who was decision that Discord was it to make it so you can't place videos? Do every device just not support it? What the fuck? You got to use your audio stuff. So unfortunately, there aren't a lot of audio formats. You have free lossless audio codec, MP3, WAV, and Vorpis. So you'll have those effects, but you'll have all those options, but you can't use vocoder if you were a Vegas Pro user anymore unless you paid for it because vocoder went all premium. I did me and a couple friends a favor by archiving all the old classic connectors in software, but there's going to be no version for 23. So if you were a person who used vocoder because you enjoyed having better performance, sorry to say, but if you move to Vegas Pro 23, you're going to have to pay for the new version of vocoder. Shut down computer after render completes. Now that is something I think a lot of people would never have thought that they would need, but do you need to have shut down computer after render completes? As a matter of fact, some people actually do want to have render complete as when they want to have shut down other render completes. Because if you don't know, there is a thing in Vegasor that has where was it? Shut down computer with sleep, hibernate, log off, reboot, and power off. You can also have send notification to the device, email, run program. Why? Open associated program, play sound. I can't play the sound. All right, whatever. Doesn't work. Render priority can be set to high. So if you use Vegasor, you can set your render priority to high, which allows you to get better performance from your computer, but at the cost of degrading your computer's performance for every other program. Keep this in mind. Changing the priority of a computer will not make Vegas Pro work faster. Why do people think that if you change the priority of the program, it makes it run better and faster? It does not. It just makes it it just allows you to use more resources and prioritizes resources towards that program than any other system components needed for those resources. You're basically just cutting the system off from using the necessary amount of resources by allowing Vegas Pro to take more resources for itself than it needs. So stop changing your render priority in Vegas Pro unless you absolutely need to. You'll just break the entire system. Modern equalizer audio plugin. We talked about this. It looks sleek, like FabFilter. I had just talked about this. It looks so good. Like, if this is what you wanted, you now have it. It's so beautiful. And I also learned we have presets, bands, drums, master, mix, more clarity. Okay, so there's not a lot of presets, but what is... Hey, can someone tell me these are FabFilter presets? Because these look like FabFilter presets. I don't use FabFilter myself. Surprise. You can still use the zoom level. Oh my god, no plugin ever had this. Oh my god, we have side A and side B stuff. Holy shit. Wow, I didn't even see that. You can also turn off the equalizer so it doesn't have to, you don't have to do this. Just now just turn it off in the program itself. Brilliant magic. Intuitive defaults for the timeline in Playback. Several minor changes have been made to respond to user requests to make editing in the timeline more comfortable for most user needs. These changes include a change to the default behavior for the spacebar when using it to start and stop playback, free movement when dragging the playhead, the option to prevent the timeline circuit from moving when selecting an event on the timeline, and more. Now, I think it's in the Spur Mixer's mindset that you always want to have the timeline move whenever you click somewhere. What if we didn't? And here's all my preferences if anyone gives a damn about it. Oh, and also we have 3 new things to look at. Activate DX11 output mode. Use Dilfer for displaying 32-bit projects on SDR monitors. Use FB16 mode for displaying SDR and HDR content. We'll not get into those because those are pretty much experimental things. They didn't even put it in like experimental or internal. I think they should have though. What we're going to actually look at is these. We have move timeline circuit when clicking on an event. Wow. You know, that's a feature I think people don't really use. Oh, my headset turned off because I wasn't playing any audio. So I don't think it's in this best. I think something stands a little weird about this feature is that I think my workflow is so used to like clicking on an event that I just expect to scroll into it whenever I want to. And oh my god, this doesn't feel right at all. I want to click on an event and scroll to it sometimes, and then this happens. This is not ideal for me, at least. Some people might think, oh, well, this is exactly what I needed. For me, I rely on the playhead to be on the event whenever I click on it, and I just go to it. That doesn't feel right at all. Oh, if anyone doesn't know, if you don't like the selection edit tool being like this, then you can just turn it off and edit, by the way. Right here, turn right under change circuit. You use right click button to switch to the selection event tool. Change it to that and you won't have this issue. Now, I'm trying to find where the other one is, where the other event might be. So I think they changed it so it no longer is play stop. Yeah. Oh, why is it so loud? It clipped again. Oh, because of that. So yeah, they made some of the default options way more better for most users. So good. Thank you, Magic. Improved UI for video effect media generator and transition selection. Okay, so I was talking about this in the Discord server last night, how these don't work all that well. Even the search feature didn't work properly. If you were to ever, like, say, for example, search for the effect or media that you wanted, well, good luck and say goodbye to your performance. Because it was such shit. So I believe now they fixed it, so it no longer has a whole bunch of garbage to handle. But it doesn't work all that well, all that good still. I mean, for third-party effects, they don't exactly break anymore. But I was hoping that they would have fixed this issue quite a while ago. Oh my god, legacy text. Such a classic staple of the Spur Mixer media is using legacy text. What the hell? Oh, which reminds me. So the last thing I'll talk about actually is something that might be very cool for all the Vegas Pro users who are still using Vegas Pro to this day. But before that, we got to get to the last things we're going to talk about. Vegas Capture 2. Seriously? Seriously. I'm using OBS right now, so what's the point of using Vegas Capture 2? Unless you're like, oh, I need to capture stuff and put it directly into Vegas. I only seen 2 occurrences that's ever happened to anyone, and they were both on Reddit. There were only 2 times I ever seen people use Vegas Capture, but I never seen anyone else use it after that. There was no literal shot they had to rework Vegas Capture to be new because it was needed to be new. Why? Okay. Fixes and improvements. I think people dread the day they have to see fixes and improvements be useless because people have seen in the last 10 versions, fixes and improvements have not fixed anything. People have always said that. So let's look at them. Let's look at it properly. Properly? What the hell? The file IO surrogate has been rewritten to ensure improved air handling. Yes. So we're going to skip that. We're going to skip that. Skip that. Selectively paste event attributes have now properly list video effects on multiple events at the same time. Yeah, that's always been an issue. I've always had this issue. I honestly like it when I use the feature to paste multiple events, but come on, it was so shit because you didn't see which event you were pasting the events to unless you checked them one by one. Revise the edit details window to work better with adjustment events. Really? 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 Huh. Who knew? No, 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 no. A heavy amount of seeking in the timeline no longer reduces playback and render performance in NVIDIA GPUs. Well, you hear that, Christian? Your $1 million NVIDIA graphics card can now support even more performance in Vegas Pro. No, no, no. Improved? No, I don't think people use this a lot. Unless people do, I don't use it. No. Whoa. Okay, maybe this is a fine feature. No. No. No longer crashes continuing adjustment events. How does that happen? No. Snap shop. The white flashing of windows during resizing of dock windows no longer occurs. Never seen it. Nope. The save markers option, which has been available before Vegas Pro 21, has been available. Didn't even know this was a feature. I just assumed this was just like I assumed this was depreciated. Nope. Soulless stretching method with 192,000 hertz audio no longer crashes. This is an issue I had with Vegas Pro 13 10 years ago. There's no way this was actually a fix that they had to do. I mean, me and NPC had this problem because we tried using monophonic on 192,000 hertz. I accidentally made NPC believe that some audio files and even the monophonic audio stretching method was a bug or it was problematic because I accidentally gave him 192,000 hertz audio files. So don't use 192,000 hertz audio files for Vegas Pro unless you absolutely need to, because these will cause crashes. Nope. Nice. Okay. Nope. Never use it. Never know. Don't know what those are. Pretty cool. Animate button no longer disappears when doing keyframes for some effects plugins. Well, I mean, that's definitely been an issue I've seen before, but I don't know how many times I have seen it. Fixed problems with import of some large files which could be read in earlier versions of Vegas. That's interesting. Because I have experienced issues with big video files before. I didn't think it was problematic to Vegas Pro exclusively, but I guess apparently the more modern versions had issues with them. Playhead can now be freely dragged without audio scrubbing. The spacebar now performs a play pause action instead of play stop. Now, new preference to prevent the circuit from moving when clicking on an event. And there is the Windows ARM build for people who use Windows-based ARM devices. Congrats to those users. And I think that's about it for Vegas Pro 23. That was a fun journey to look at. And this project uses Vegas Pro 22, so I'm not prepared to move this over to 23 yet. However, my conclusion about Vegas Pro 23 is it's a huge step. I want to remind people that Vegas Pro started to improve a lot starting with version 21. Yeah, 21. But why 21? Why was it not 19? Not 18? Not 20? Because Vegas Pro 18 still needed a ton of optimizations, and there were a ton of issues. Scrap Your Films. I will review it right now. Scrap Your Films made the most optimal preference. Oh my god, how do I say this? Scrap Your Films on YouTube has made a video, a proper video on how to optimize Vegas Pro 16 to 20. If you are a Vegas Pro user who struggles with crashes, go watch Scrap Your Films' videos. He's helped the community so much that if it weren't for him, I probably would have quit using Vegas Pro years ago. Because Vegas Pro had so many issues, I had no idea how to fix them. And his tutorial fixed 99% of those issues. It was so bliss. There was so much bliss in my eyes when I saw that Vegas Pro no longer crashed like a maniac. When I saw his videos, and I kept importing the same preferences and my own preferences between versions. 18 to 21, 21 to 22, 22 to 23. I have not experienced a crash on Vegas Pro 23 yet, but that might soon change. Because Vegas Pro 23 is going to become an absolute game changer. And I think starting today, Vegas Pro 23 is a step, it's a huge step, no, a huge leap forward to a more modern version of Vegas Pro for the starting. I already lost my train of thought. What the hell? Okay, I'll just get it out right now. 23 is a huge leap forward that is going to revolutionize the way how Vegas Pro change and how it works and how it changes. God damn it. If you get what I'm trying to say, though, thanks. I just can't put into words. Vegas Pro 23 is definitely a huge game changer, and I think it's going to change the way how Vegas Pro works forever, how people use Vegas Pro forever. And as ZZZ9125 said, make Vegas great again. Yes, I definitely been wanting to say it. Make Vegas great again. Because Vegas has been under the rubble for so long. And just like how Adobe Flash died back in 2020 and has been brought back from the dead by Newgrounds using Ruffle, so can Vegas Pro by Magic. Magic can make Vegas Pro so good again that people will definitely have to start using it. I don't see a reason why you wouldn't use Vegas Pro. If you are an inexperienced video editor and you need an intuitive video editing program to work with, and you look at DaVinci Resolve and you're thinking, oh wow, this looks so complicated. I don't think I want to use this. This is what Vegas Pro is for. Vegas Pro is designed for beginners and professionals. And I believe that it will work so well for people who want to get into video editing, such as myself. I've used Vegas Pro for 10 years, more so. And it's definitely been my main driver for a long time. Yes, the crashes have been there and here and there, and they've bothered me a lot. But once you get past those crashes, no. Once you rectify, what the hell? Not rectify. Once you eradicate those crashes out of your system, and you make Vegas Pro work so much better, you start to realize, wow, this program is actually the greatest program to ever work. Not according to the people who had experienced one crash and was like, why is my Vegas Pro crashing? I just lost like 2 hours of work. Oh, this program sucks. What do you think Premiere Pro and DaVinci Resolve users have to go through? They have a much bigger program, and the crashes can be even worse on there. But unfortunately for Vegas Pro, I think a lot of the issues stem from the fact that Vegas Pro doesn't properly autosave sometimes. So if you had that issue, go to advanced save, use advanced backup, and set your intervals to like 5 or 10 minutes. I haven't set to 5 minutes because, yes, I can't trust Vegas Pro to not crash all the time, but it definitely would help if you have more backups, because the backups will save you a lot of time getting back to where you are. You might not think about it, but 5 minutes is not a lot of time to create a whole bunch of edits. If you're creating tons of edits in such a short amount of time, you might need to look into more professional software, because there's no way you should be making fast edits in 5 minutes. Unless you're like a script user who uses Element Helper to create all this shit for you, you're just a fucking cheater then. And let me tell you this. There is no way this actually just happened. Automated helper does not work in 23. So we need to go fix that. I will make sure that the developer of Automated Helper will know that this happened. But it looks like it's just another one of those case events where it's the same thing that happened a long time ago. So when Vegas Pro 2 got released, this same error came up. So I think this might been a bug in the script API that's now been like fixed, because this used to say no overload for event import file takes 1 or 3 arguments. Or no, it used to say like it only takes 1 or 3 arguments. We think that was a bug. And I think Magic also may have done that as well. So they may have changed the scripting API to fix that for 23. But 22 still works. But 23 will not use Automated Helper. So if you're planning to get Vegas Pro 23 and you're a make sure a YTB MVer, you can't use Automated Helper for the time being, unless you know how to fix that one bug yourself, which is pretty simple, probably. It's pretty simple, probably. I say that as like it's not simple for a person to look at 24,000 lines of code and think, oh, wow, this definitely is fixable. It's all in one script, so good luck. But to Martin, VP Flow and I think VP Console works. Yep, they work. Okay. So those 2 extensions work, so you can still use those. Other scripts, I think like I don't have a lot of our scripts that are helpful. Mini tools works. PSD Where Splitter doesn't work. Well, actually, it's because I don't have anything for that. The sprite sheet tool didn't do anything, unfortunately. So I guess it doesn't work. Who knows? I also should probably add this as a window, probably. I didn't realize that this was still using the old window here. So let's fix that real quick. So yeah, after all of this, I will give my final conclusion, and this is based on initial impressions. I will have an initial impressions review, and I will have a long-term review after I use Vegas Pro after I use Vegas Pro 23 after 30 days. My initial impressions is this is good. This is actually good. I give this a B+. A B+. It's not too different from Vegas Pro 22, but my initial impressions is that this has huge changes that makes Vegas Pro work. They work. And when I say they work, I mean they work. I guess. Does it? Oh, and I guess don't minimize the program if you don't want it to be just if you don't want it to disappear from OBS. Oh well. I have nothing more to say about it. I saw all the teasers. I saw all the features that were shown by the beta testers. I was told about the release dates, and now I have it because I have a perpetual license to use it because of my subscription. I say subscription, but I'm going to get a perpetual license at the end of my subscription because I had the smart subscription. So, yeah. So.
I finally feel like I'm in a place where I feel complacent, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't really know what it means either.
Well, chat, I think that's going to be it for me.
Finally say, for once in my life, Jesus fucking Christ, I feel okay.
Jesus fucking Christ, I feel okay. That is quite the dark lyrics still. This is what Vegas Pro feels like right now. I guess overall, I can definitely say that Vegas Pro has improved a lot, and I'm so grateful that it has. I'm so grateful. I'm only grateful because Vegas Pro has been my main driver for 10 years, and I've experienced over 1,000 crashes in my lifetime. I think. Not 1,000, but definitely close to that. Somewhere. I wish I had the crash counter. Payday 2, a game that was made and destroyed by Starbreeze, has a crash counter mod that tells you how many crashes you had when you modded the game. And I wish Vegas Pro had the same thing. I wish I had the crash counter. Oh my god. So, I'll leave it at that. The stream ends when the song is done. And chat, I will see you later.